David Bowie. Pretty good. I myself am decadent and brooding as well. It's going to be Sarah after Mike's done the news. We return tomorrow with Sirius Jockin and Ellie Taylor, a Strictly contestant. Laters.
BBC News at 5 o'clock, this is Mike Powell. The Bank of England has raised interest rates again for the 7th time in a row. The government has confirmed it will reverse its recent national insurance rise in November, and scientists hope that mothers can help their babies develop a taste for vegetables before they're even born. The Bank of England has raised interest rates to 2.25%. That's the highest level since 2008. As well as announcing the 0.5 percentage point increase, the bank also warned that the UK might already be in a recession, as our economics correspondent Andy Verity explains.
When we talk about recession, we're talking about economic activity receding. All the buying and selling we are doing, all the goods and services we just produce a little bit less. Now, part of the reason that's happened is actually royal holidays. We had a Jubilee in the second quarter, and we also had, of course, the period of mourning and the day off in this quarter, and that's likely to have reduced economic activity. But it's not as serious in a way as it looked a few weeks ago before the emergency measures were announced, when the Bank of England was predicting that all through next year we'd be in a recession. Now they're saying that'll be a lot milder.
The new Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng, has confirmed that the recent rise in national insurance will be reversed at the beginning of November. The 1.25 percentage point increase was introduced by Boris Johnson as a way to help the NHS recover from the coronavirus pandemic. Liz Truss made scrapping the rise a key pledge of her campaign to succeed him in the Conservative leadership contest. The Health Secretary, Therese Coffey, has explained how she plans to support the NHS in England over what's expected to be a very challenging winter. The package of measures includes improving patient access to GPs, but doctors' leaders have warned that the plans don't address the underlying issue of staff shortages. Here's our health correspondent, Dominic Hughes.
Therese Coffey's first statement as Health Secretary for England focused on what she calls her ABCDs: ambulances, backlogs, social care and doctors and dentists. She promised a laser-like focus on reducing delays in admitting patients to hospital from ambulances, more diagnostic centres to help reduce waiting times, £500 million from existing budgets for adult social care that will free up beds by allowing patients to be discharged from hospital, and some widely trailed measures around improving access to GP surgeries. But critics say the underlying problem is a shortage of staff, and on that, Ms Coffey's statement had very little new to offer.
West Yorkshire police have arrested a 16-year-old boy on suspicion of murder following the fatal stabbing of a teenager in Huddersfield. The victim, a 15-year-old boy, was attacked outside the gates of his school yesterday afternoon. The family of a woman with a severe dairy allergy who died after eating a vegan wrap contaminated with traces of milk say her death was entirely avoidable. Celia Marsh died in 2017 shortly after eating the wrap bought from a branch of Pret a Manger. The inquest into the 42-year-old's death has been taking place at Avon Coroner's Court in Bristol, from where Jenny Kumar reports.
The court heard that the yoghurt in the wrap contained an ingredient called HG1, and this was contaminated with milk protein during its manufacture. The coroner said the company which supplied the yoghurt had documents about the risk of dairy contamination, but this risk was not passed on to customers. The family welcomed the coroner's recommendation for clearer labelling and compulsory testing of products claiming to be allergen-free. They described Celia as their heartbeat and said her death had been preventable.
Pret a Manger say they support the coroner's findings and have now improved their labelling. The RMT union has announced another strike date for rail workers. It says 40,000 of its members will walk out on the 8th of October as part of a long-running dispute over jobs, pay and working conditions. Rail strikes are already planned for the 1st and 5th of October. The train operator Avanti West Coast has said it's increasing its services after slashing timetables last month. The company says extra trains will run on its routes between London and Manchester and London and Birmingham starting next Tuesday. Scientists have been giving more details of research which shows that babies in the womb react to what their mothers eat. Ultrasound scans of pregnant women have shown babies grimacing when they taste and smell green vegetables such as kale, but smiling for carrots. Professor Nadja Riesland from Durham University thinks babies could develop healthy eating habits from a young age.
Our hope is basically that they get used to the vegetable taste, which is like green vegetables, and therefore after birth they will be more amenable to actually eat green vegetables, which would be helping with a healthy diet.
In the city, the 100 share index has closed down 78 points at 7,160. The weather this evening, rain across Wales, parts of northern England and the Midlands, elsewhere largely dry, and lows of 7 in Edinburgh, 9 in Belfast, 12 in Cardiff and 14 Celsius in London. BBC News, it's 5:05.
Mike, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Introducing to you, Sarah Cox, BBC Radio 2.
And thank you very much to Mr. Steve Wright for another spectacular show. He's back tomorrow with some serious jockeying, no G. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and everyone in between, welcome along to your fun, funny and funky Thursday tea time extravaganza. And you know it's a hell of a Thursday. Thursdays are more fun than Michael Sheen is Welsh, more exciting than the return of Strictly, more full of promise and a billion little fingers linked in the world's biggest ever pinky promise. But we need you to make it all worthwhile. The hatch, the match, the newly mortgaged, the happy birthdays and I really love yous to 88291. As it's a Thursday, there's Fast Track plus first and last a half hour and be fashionably late to the Sarahs plus make a dash and big blooper. I'm excited. Bruce is excited.
It's nice to see you,
I did say.
City dweller, successful fella, thought to himself, oops, I've got a lot of money. Caught in a rat race, terminally. I'm a professional cynic, but my heart's not in it. I'm paying the price of living life at the limit. Caught up in centuries, anxiety. Yes, the craze on him. Lives in a house, very big house in the country. Watching afternoon repeats and the food he eats in the country. He takes a manner of pills and piles up analyst bills in the country.